43 minutes. That's how long Atlético Madrid were 45 seconds from glory before Sergio Ramos destroyed them with a single header. But here's what nobody tells you. Real Madrid went 32 years without winning this competition. 32 years of watching Ajax, Liverpool, and Bayern Munich lift the trophy they invented. And yet, 15 titles, 3 consecutive Champions Leagues, coming back from 5-3 down against Manchester City with minutes remaining. This doesn't happen by accident, because go back to the very first European Cup final, 1956. Real Madrid were already losing. They came back then too. So is this money, mentality, or something embedded so deeply into this club that even their opponents believe it before the game starts? This is the real story, and we're about to tell it. If you're new here, welcome to Pitch Lore Films, where football's greatest stories get told the way they deserve. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because trust us, you don't want to miss what's coming next. The man who built the dream and the player who was never supposed to be there. Madrid, 1943. Spain was barely breathing. A civil war had just finished tearing the country apart. The economy was broken. The world had turned its back on Franco's Spain. This is the moment Santiago Bernabeu decided to build something magnificent. He became Real Madrid's president with one vision: make this club the greatest on earth. Not just in Spain, on earth. 4 years later, in a country excluded from the United Nations, he opened a 75,000-seat stadium. Then he lobbied aggressively for a European competition because he hadn't built that stadium for Saturday afternoons. He built it for European nights. When the European Cup launched in 1955, Real Madrid were the first to say, "We're in." But a stadium without the right player is just concrete. And the player Bernabeu needed was already the most wanted footballer in the world. Alfredo Di Stefano, born in Argentina, forged in Colombia, wanted by everybody. Both Real Madrid and Barcelona had legitimate claims to sign him. The dispute that followed remains one of football's most controversial transfers. Barcelona had a deal. Madrid had a deal. The Spanish Football Federation intervened. Barcelona walked away. Di Stefano went to Madrid. The 5 years that changed football forever, and the night football became art. What happened next was unlike anything European football had ever seen. 5 consecutive European Cups. 5 years of total, suffocating dominance. Real Madrid didn't just win the competition, they became it. Di Stefano was the heartbeat, a footballer so complete he could score, create, and organize all in the same match. He scored in every single one of those 5 consecutive finals. Everyone. But Bernabeu wasn't finished. In 1958, he signed Ferenc Puskás, a Hungarian legend who had fled his country after the 1956 revolution. Puskás was 31 years old. Most players were finishing at that age. He went on to score 242 goals in 262 appearances for Real Madrid. Together, Di Stefano and Puskás were unstoppable. But nothing prepared European football for what happened on the 18th of May, 1960. Hampden Park, Glasgow. Real Madrid versus Eintracht Frankfurt, the European Cup final. 127,621 people inside the stadium. Most of them Scottish, completely neutral. Di Stefano scored 3, Puskás scored 4. Final score, Real Madrid 7, Eintracht Frankfurt 3. At full time, the Scottish crowd rose to their feet and gave both teams a standing ovation. Neutral strangers, applauding football they had no stake in, because what they had witnessed wasn't just a match. It was the moment European football declared itself to the world. The fall, 32 years of silence and the glamour trap. And then they stopped winning. Not for a season, not for a few years, for 32 years. From 1966 to 1998, Real Madrid, the club that had invented European dominance, watched Ajax, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, and AC Milan take turns lifting the trophy they had made famous. They lost the 1981 final to Liverpool. They won 5 consecutive La Liga titles in the late 1980s with a brilliant generation called the Quinta del Buitre, and never once got close to European glory. Domestic brilliance, European silence. The drought proved something uncomfortable. Real Madrid's European dominance was never automatic. It required specific ingredients, and for 32 years, something was missing. Then came Florentino Perez, elected president in 2000 on one explicit promise: sign Luis Figo from Barcelona. He did exactly that. Then Zinedine Zidane, then Ronaldo, then Beckham. The Galacticos had arrived, the most glamorous squad-building experiment football had ever seen. And in 2002, Zidane produced one of the greatest goals in Champions League history. The most famous squad in football history. Won Champions League in 12 years. Glamour, it turned out, wasn't the answer. So if glamour wasn't the answer, what was? The engine nobody talked about and the manager who had no right to succeed. It was sitting in Real Madrid's midfield the entire time, and almost nobody was paying attention to it. Luka Modric, rejected as a child for being too small, spent years at Tottenham winning nothing. Arrived at Madrid in 2012, quietly, without fanfare. Toni Kroos, signed from Bayern Munich in 2014, considered by some to be past his best, became the most precise passer the Champions League had ever seen. Casemiro, the defensive shield, the player who gave Modric and Kroos the freedom to be brilliant. Together, these three weren't glamorous. They weren't headline signings. They were something more valuable. They were the engine of the most successful Champions League era in the competition's modern history. And driving that engine was a man who had absolutely no right to be there. Zinedine Zidane, his entire managerial experience before taking Real Madrid's first team, one season managing their B team. He had never managed a professional first division club in his life. He was appointed in January 2016. 4 months later, Champions League winners. Then he did it again in 2017, first team ever to defend the title in the Champions League era. Then again in 2018, when Gareth Bale came off the bench, scored a bicycle kick with his first touch, and produced one of the greatest goals in final history. 3 consecutive Champions Leagues. The man whose playing career ended with a headbutt in a World Cup final had just become the most successful manager in the history of the competition. Football doesn't do neat stories, but occasionally, it does perfect ones. The comeback season, and so why do they keep winning? 2022, Cristiano Ronaldo was gone. The squad was aging, and most of the football world had quietly written Real Madrid off. They were wrong. What followed was the most dramatically improbable Champions League campaign in the competition's history. 3 consecutive knockout rounds. 3 separate moments where elimination wasn't just possible, it was practically confirmed. Against PSG, losing on aggregate with minutes remaining. Karim Benzema scored 3 goals in 17 minutes. Through, against Manchester City, 5-3 down on aggregate in the 93rd minute. Rodrigo scored in the 90th, then the 91st. Benzema converted a penalty in extra time. Through, in the final against Liverpool, Thibaut Courtois made 9 saves. 9. Liverpool created enough chances to win 3 games. 1 goal. Vinicius Jr., Real Madrid, champions of Europe. Benzema, the man who had spent 14 years dismissed as Ronaldo's assistant, won the Ballon d'Or that year, aged 34. And Courtois, the goalkeeper Real Madrid had broken in the 2014 final when he played for Atlético Madrid, became their greatest hero in 2022. So why does Real Madrid keep winning this competition? It isn't just money. It isn't just talent. It is something deeper, an identity so embedded in the club's culture that every player who pulls on that white shirt inherits it. The belief that in this competition, on this stage, Real Madrid do not lose, not because of magic, because of 70 years of history telling them they don't have to. Why Real Madrid always wins the Champions League. 15 titles. Let that number sit for a moment. Not 5, not 8. 15 Champions League titles. More than any other club in the history of the competition, more than AC Milan and Liverpool combined, this is a club built in a broken country by a man who refused to think small, defined by a player who was denied everything and responded by winning everything, shaped by 5 consecutive European Cups that told the world what football could be, tested by 32 years of silence that proved even the greatest institutions are human, and then rebuilt, again and again and again, through Galacticos and droughts, through rookie managers and impossible comebacks, through players who were written off, sent away, and overlooked, only to return and define the club's greatest moments. That is the Real Madrid story. Not a story of always winning, a story of always coming back. And if this documentary reminded you why football's greatest stories deserve to be told properly, then you're already in the right place. Welcome to Pitch Lore Films. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, because the stories we have coming, trust us, you do not want to miss them.